So, hi and welcome to this call.
Yeah.
That you can hear in Sweden, in Japan or something.
It's PM here. It's good time.
Yeah. So that's why we record this. Everyone. And you know, I've seen you through different companies. We work together. I always kind of followed you, and for me, you're like a guy with a big heart, and you know, I can read that, and that's why I think you know, I've been watching you from on Facebook. See, in January, it was like, okay, this time I need to go with Ed, and it's this great thing. So I contacted you.
Yeah.
And then, because I could see, okay, this is good, it's about health, it's about wealth, but I need to know the background of it, about who's behind it. How did you get in contact with LiveGood, and why did you get excited back in this?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, my direct sponsor, Tim Miller. You know, I've been in. You know, we kept in touch. You know, I've been working with Tim before in the previous company called Skinny Body Care, and he was my upline in that company. But I kept in touch, and you know, one does, you know, social media. We keep in touch. We're always working, but haven't spoken to Tim for a long time. But I keep an eye on what he's doing, because he's quite a, you know, quite forceful attitude.
Yeah.
So you know, when he I mean, you know, actually, you know, LiveGood launch its first LiveGood back in summer before August, but I think I saw it and I got interested. In fact, I did it. But I knew about it a little bit before that, because posting it to his goers in anyway. There's a lot going on about LiveGood, and it was about, and I realized, you know, dieting, because I was, you know, I mean, I suppose I'm about, well, I'm not quite 180 centimeters, but I was of 90 kilograms, quite fat. And products from another company, I could stay and I remain with that particular company free. So I was sort of ordering. Then I just get with it, and I was actually sort of looking around. It would be quite good partner with a company that was, you know, into health and wellness.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, get on board with such a company. It was just about, it was all happening. It was recently, and I was at the time Tim started talking about products and what good was, and of course, you know, we was I know the events. So but then I tried to join, and I realized, oh, this isn't going to work, because, you know, it's only available in America. But I did. I figured it probably will go global. I mean, I think it would. So all this started to happen. Said, right.
Did you join on the first day it was launched international? on the very
No,
first?
late. Well, I mean, I say late, but I mean, I was a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what. I think I was about a week after it launched,
Okay.
possibly in days or week. You know, some days. I think it had already launched. And then, I mean, I remember, you know, some of the changes that had happened. And then they added to the compensation plan, and they brought on the power line system and the matrix. They didn't have the matrix back then, so, you know, obviously I am a marketer and we're in this industry, you know, and I figured that I mean, before, when I looked at LiveGood before, I thought, you know, if I was going to do that, you know, obviously the products would have to be good, because I didn't think much of the compensation plan back then. I figured it wouldn't get big. I mean, you know, I didn't think, you know, as far as the compensation plan was concerned, I don't think it would be popular. But then they did change it, and they brought in more of an exciting compensation plan, but they kept the prices very reasonable, very modest, and very affordable for a lot of people. And I figured this could be big. I could see that this could be big. So yeah, and in my experience, I think, you know, something like this could really get out there big time. And when I think, we were right.
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing. You know, it's like, is it now 130,000?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's about that, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. And when I joined, apparently it was about Tim said just the other day, it was about 3,000 members before I joined.
Yeah.
And now I've got more than that in my own personal team. So we got, you know, about
exactly. So it's about almost 4,000 in your team, right?
I think it's quite a bit over now. I think it's it's growing. Like once it starts to happen, you know, it really starts to grow like crazy. It's not far off. It won't be long before it's actually 5,000. I think the last time I checked, it was 4,700 or something.
Wow, that's amazing. And for you watching this on the replay, you know, so Ed is number 4 on the leaderboard, and that's quite exciting. Yeah, I think you personally enrolled 233 people, something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing. And one fun thing is that number 1 is Jeff Amon. I think he enrolled like 550 or something like that. And he's actually your downline.
Yeah, he's directly under me. Yeah, I personally sponsored him, and he came in. I'm just checking my back office now. Actually, it's 4,794 members in my team. So that's happened.
And I think I joined you just on January the 3rd. I joined you, so you know.
Yeah, I joined December 23rd. Yeah,
just before Christmas, right? Cool.
But yeah, I mean, you know, it was just before Christmas, but you know, everyone was just sort of getting into Christmas mode. And then soon after that, it was New Year, so everyone was busy. You know, in spite of that, you know, Ben Glinsky always talks about, you know, how it was. I think he said it was like the worst timing that, you know, we could launch something like this in network marketing. But
yeah, exactly, just before Christmas.
But we did it. We did amazing things.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah, and you talked some about it, but you know, what's the experience? You know, looking back now, it says what it has been 90 days, 3 months, it'll be almost 4, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
If you compare, you know, because you've been in this industry since 2010 or something like that, for a long time at least, or 15.
Yeah, I mean, actually, to be honest, I mean, it's been constantly, you know, involved in this industry since about 94, really. I mean, network marketing, 94, but and then you know, my first experience of a sort of an online network marketing company was about 1988, 90. Yeah. So when they had the replicated websites, you know, where we get a link kind of thing. So that was, yeah, and it's been constant since then, really. Yeah.
Yeah. So my question is, you know, because you've been around, you've seen a lot of companies, and we've been in some together where, you know, we could really see what this is happening, and then something went wrong, or something, or they didn't. But sometimes, you know, that's just the way it is in this business. But your experience so far with LiveGood, can you talk a little bit about that? You know, the feeling and how it's all lined up, and you know, the perks.
Yeah, I think like you know, when I joined LiveGood, you know, one of the first things I needed to do was to get with Tim Miller, and just iron out all the issues, you know, that I've experienced in different companies. You know,
Right.
I just had to know what was Ben Glinsky's plan for the 5 for the 10 years in the future. What was you know, what was his plans globally? What was he going to do? You know, sort of you know, with the pricing, and what is he going to, you know, what's he going to do to keep the momentum? You know, because companies come and go in waves. You know, and
it's like you said, it goes to a peak, and then from the peak, things start to go down, and you know, you can't keep the prices and all that. So
yeah, I mean, the other thing is, the big thing that on my mind was, I wanted to understand 100%. You know, like, why, you know, for example, why did Ben Glinsky have to shut down the previous company? That kind of thing. I wanted to know those questions, and the answers that I got were very satisfactory. You know, I understood completely, and I mean, Ben, you know, I mean, I think we all know that Ben went into retirement, and he mentions that very transparently. And but you know, Ben's whole, you know, I mean, I saw this in Skinny Body Care. He's very much supportive of the global community. I mean, he really is. He's supportive of the people who have struggled in this industry. I mean, that was one of the reasons why he got out of this industry, because he was just fed up with the greed, and the way that a lot of these companies were running the whole setup. You know, and people, a lot of leaders will get bought into companies. I mean, I've been offered, you know, you know, extra commissions that people would never hear about, and I turned things down. You know, I said, I'm not even. It wouldn't make sense for me to join some of those companies, because, you know, I just don't agree with that why they do that. And
yeah, exactly.
And I couldn't promote something that I knew that I was just getting something that my downline would never get, because you know, I've been brought, asked to be brought into that company with a big commission check that was not part of the compensation plan, and I just didn't agree with that. So
this is off topic a little bit, but I remember one time when you almost joined me in a trading venue that I was in. So we had a discussion, and when you said, yeah, I'm going to join, because you took my link and you got into that company, and I was so excited. I was like, yeah, I have Ed Keyte on my downline. And then it turned out, because it was, you know, you have to know trading a little bit, and it was difficult to
oh yeah,
do you remember that? So
I remember that, yeah.
But then you said, no, I won't do trading, and I was like, oh damn it. But that was yeah. But anyway,
yeah, no, I mean, the issue is that I you know, because I've been in this industry for a long time, I think I did a video a couple of days ago, actually, about a company, and, you know, I just couldn't make any money from that company, and I know, I mean, you know, I've been in this industry for long enough. There are some things that I just can't do, you know, and I think it comes down to motivation. It kind of, you know, key interest. I mean, interest in the product, interested in the system, and it all boils down to sort of the motivation side. And I've joined companies where it just didn't work out for me at all. Nobody joined me. I was struggling. You know, it was just completely the same struggles as everyone has. You know, people think that, oh, Ed Keyte can, you know, go into any company and build it, but that's not true. I mean,
that's kind of you have to have your heart in it, I think.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of, you know, otherwise it will die itself, you know, if you don't believe in it and you don't use the products, or, you know, feel for it. If you would be bought into a company and get a big one-time compensation, you know, after 1 year you wouldn't feel it, so you wouldn't drive people anyway. So yeah.
No, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I have to be 100%, you know, involved. I think it sort of comes. It's also the creativity side. I am a very creative person, and that's why I like doing the marketing systems and the pages and the, you know, doing the design. I like to get my head down and get involved.
And And yeah, and speaking about marketing and all that, you know, because you do a lot of marketing, a lot of materials that look nice and they have good attraction and all that, and you share it with everyone in your team, which now is a very big team. So, so how come you do that? Why don't you just keep it to yourself?
Well, I mean, you know, I think a lot of people generally do that, and I think that they're just killing their own growth. You know,
Yeah.
I learned that really early on. You know, I mean, well, I say early on. I have been in this industry for a long time, but however, I think that when I started really to have experience success in this industry was about June, July time of 2015. When I did start to sponsor quite a lot of people because I was putting a lot of work in. So there's that side of things. You know, when I can put my own efforts into something and I can sponsor a lot of people, but I realized that what was happening is that I was just sponsoring a lot of people myself, but my downline was not having any success at all. You know, and then the first thing that they would ask when they join is that, you know, how do I make a page like what you're making? Or, you know, how do I set that up? And then back then I was trying to, you know, I was just saying, okay, you know, what you need something like Aweber or GetResponse, and then you need, you know, you need to understand a little bit about HTML, and, you know, it was just really hard, and nobody could follow that. It was just not duplicatable. So, but then, you know, the thing is that what I was doing back then, as I was doing a lot of ads, I was posting ads on these various classified ad places, and I was just posting loads and loads of ads. You know, when people came on board, I would make up kind of documents, like PDF documents, and I would just hand those out there, and people would say, and how can I edit this document so it has my link in there, not yours? And so, you know, I just realized I had to make all my content, whatever I make, it had to be sort of generic enough, well, generic, or, you know, something that they could also use. And then that's how I got started. And then I, you know, started to get into, you know, marketing systems so that the system would duplicate or replicate what I was doing. And I mean, I knew I would need a capture page or a funnel, and I would need the various ads. So if I made it once for myself, why don't I make it in a way so that it could be duplicated? Everything that I make would be, you know.
And I just want to say, you know, if anyone watching this, I'm not going to show it, because if you want to see exactly how, you can contact me or be in your group on Facebook. So everyone in your downline, my downline, is invited to come to your group, and I can place the link under the video later. But so there, you know, it's really good looking, and you have made like a 7-day course. You could say it's something like that. More like a, you know, a resource base where you actually, you know, what's LiveGood about. There's a video, there's some text, and you can change everything. You can brand everything to yourself. You can even have your own pictures and change out your face or my face. So it's really your content. Which is amazing, and it's you know, it's hours and hours and hours of work, and there's hours and hours of content in that. I think that's the, you know, the one that we really could use to, okay, everything about LiveGood you can find there, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think, you know, the thing for me is that I do come from a teaching background. My family were teachers, and I think that you know, people can't learn, you know, just thrusting a lot of content onto people. It has to be in a kind of a learning path. You know, you have to give them some kind of, you know, step-by-step training. It has to be, you know, a course of some sort, you know. And then I think the training has to be kind of in sort of bite-sized pieces, because, you know, I've joined businesses under different sponsors, and sometimes, you know, a lot of people they just send you hundreds of videos, and they're just in no particular order. They're just, you know, is it all that necessary to watch all of them? And I just get confused, and I think a lot of people take a step back and they think, oh, I'm just overwhelmed. I can't take any more. So I just decided to make a really simple step-by-step 7-day training, and all they need to go is just 1 day at a time. Today, just focus on day 1. Tomorrow, revisit, grab yourself a coffee, get on to day 2, and then you just do that, and then each day you can remember what's the important point about each day. So day one is just understanding the presentation and the conversation plan. Day two is understanding the back office, the orientation. Day three is talking about the products. Just focus on the products on day three. Get connected on the official YouTube channel, that kind of thing. Day four is where you start in the sort of the marketing side, and then it goes on. It's specific areas for each day. So if you've been through it, you're going to know which each day is focused on. So if somebody has a specific question about a certain issue, like for example products, you can just grab the link for day three, boom, send them straight to day three. If they have an issue with like marketing, like setting up a funnel, I send them to day four, which is leads leap marketing.
Right. Yeah.
So it's all about having a little bird's eye view of what we've got, and then just send it directly to that knowledge.
I think it was Kerry Russell who said, or I think it was him, who said, you're not supposed to be a library, you can be the librarian. Right. So when you just take day three, day four, so you kind of get to know the process, and if someone asks, you just have the resource, just send that.
Yeah. You don't have to be professional. You don't have to explain everything. No. Just give them access to what is needed, because when I realize sometimes I make the mistake of over explaining things, and then that can sometimes make people feel overwhelmed and think, oh my god, if I don't think I can do anything like that, I can't do that, but so sometimes as leaders have to try and shut up and let the content that we've created do the work, do the duplication.
Exactly. Because and that's one of the things that really struck me when you sent me the email. I think it was beginning of January. I could see, okay, this could actually really work and blow up. I just needed to know the background, because I just felt this is so simple. Because you see in all companies with these binary things, and you have to build one, and you have to be like a politician in all those structures. But here it's just simple. Pay your membership, pay an affiliate fee, bring in the people, and the system will fix everything for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing to kind of, jiggle around, or you can pay someone to get a better or get paid, nothing like that. I really love that. And then with your system, it's like, okay, this makes sense. I'll take day three. Someone has a question for that. So that's super great. So thank you so much for that. And it's just kind of, it's good for me now also to talk about it here, because I don't think that there are a lot of people in this community, in the Scandinavian group, which I'm leading, that's using it. So I want to promote it a bit today. So thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, right. So next up, so how about the products? So have you used them all?
I've used all of them. And I bought the. When my first order was the everything pack,
right?
And that was fantastic. I enjoyed just understanding and using all the products, just to understand what we've, absolutely what we've got. But to be honest, I love, I'm really into fitness, and I can, like, as I say, before this time last year, I was way overweight, and the issue was, I didn't even understand. It's crazy because I think humans, society, we don't have a lot of education about health, and I was just consuming a lot of sugar. I was consuming a lot of bad food, processed food. I didn't realize what the issues were. And then when I looked, I was in pain. I had, I'm now 49. But I was in a lot of pain. I had pains in my stomach. I had pains in my legs. I was just not moving enough. I was not taking enough exercise. I was eating too much the salty food, or, processed food and sugary stuff. And I didn't realize how bad that actually was. And I was drinking sports drinks, so-called sports drinks, but they're just sugary, fizzy drinks, really. They've got a lot of sugar in them. They're really bad. And I just feel it's great because we've got, people like Ryan Goodkin and Lisa Goodkin on our corporate team. that really educate us. I just love that, because you know, I didn't know. I mean, and then when I take the I love the super greens and the super reds, and I love the
So this is now my super greens are actually it's finished, so I have to order again. So I love those. But this is also I take this with the amino acid, mix it in water before the gym. It's like and it's really pumping. So it's really good. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get the I often get the lean body pack, because I do like the aminos. I mean, that when I'm in the morning, when I get up, I feel that that's the best time to go to the gym. But I'm not really. Sometimes I just don't feel like it. I'm just not really in the mood. And it's funny because I take the aminos, and then suddenly, like half an hour later, I just really feel in the mood. I mean, I don't know. It might be just a subconscious thing, or just I don't know what it's doing to me. But and then for my breakfast, I have the protein powder. But I found that what protein powder I use really makes a difference, because there's some protein powder that really doesn't have any effect. I mean, I know that commercial based protein powder is just like they got the added sugar in there, and they got all kinds of weird stuff. And there's another thing is what is it, multidextrin and other things that's really actually quite bad in a lot of these processed foods. But I just feel that my performance, there's nothing magical about any protein powder, but the performance that it gives me, I just feel a real pump, when I'm in the gym, and I feel that my workouts are really having incredible effect. Yeah. And I feel I've got the energy. I mean, there's so much extra vitamins, and it's like the whole protein powder is like a full, you don't get all that in a regular protein powder. You look at the label and you think, crikey, it's got all this sort of vitamins and everything. It's got everything in there. Yeah.
So do you do the protein before workout or after?
The protein powder? I do. Well, basically what I get up at around 6 a.m. and I purposely don't eat until about 8 a.m. So I eat my breakfast at 8, and I have oatmeal. I put the protein powder in the oatmeal, because I have to have something in there. I used to have sugar in there, and that was the problem. But now I just completely take out sugar out of my diet. But I kind of replace it with protein powder. So I sometimes have these desserts like low-fat yogurt, and I put a little protein powder in there, because just the yogurt alone is pretty boring. And then I mean, if it's oatmeal, it's just that alone is boring. So I put the protein powder in there, and it really, and I put some banana in there. And I have to be honest, I do love granola. Yeah. I know it's got a lot of sugar and stuff, but I just love it. I have that in there, and I feel I get a real hearty breakfast. And then about 9:30 I go to the gym, because I feel it's digested nicely, and I've had a little bit of carbohydrates, because I like to allocate my carbohydrates before my gym. Some people don't like that, the ketogenic community hate that, don't they?
Exactly.
But I feel it really helps with the gym. And then I finish my gym at about 10:30, and then at 12 I would have a pretty good protein lunch, and that really works for me. That's really
cool. I mean, the products are great. I mean, because I used to be in another health company before, like 10 years ago or something, one of the big ones, and I got in good shape, but this was this taste of chemicals that I just couldn't. So I just couldn't keep doing it, even though I got some good results. But these products, they really, there's nothing like that strange chemical feeling when you eat them. So I like that a lot. So yeah. All right.
Yeah, kind of grainy and
So Ed, if you were to join, or if someone joins today, and they don't know what to do, and they just feel, okay, this could be something for me, what would you tell a person if he joins today? And where do I start? How do I, they got a bit excited because the price looks good. It's only $9.95 a month, and so what would you tell anyone that wants to get started today?
Yeah, I mean, if they're brand new, they're completely new to this, and I've had a lot of those kind of people who've joined me. I would, I would just probably get them into the Facebook group. I probably wouldn't, give them everything, and I probably would hold back a lot of the marketing stuff that I do. I probably wouldn't give them access to things like the lead sleep stuff just yet. If I felt they weren't that kind of person. I guess some people get very overwhelmed. I mean, it's valuable for me, and there's a lot of people on my team who just like to do the marketing side, and they like to do the funnels. They understand it. They're already a part of this industry, but there are some people who are just sort of brand new to network marketing, and they're not marketers at all. They haven't got any sort of understanding of what we do in this industry. Creating a link or creating a page. They're not into that. They've never done it. So I would just, I would just say to them, do you feel comfortable about talking to people you already know? And if they are, I'll probably send them something like Russell Curry's training, something like that, so that they, they're already on social media, so they don't need any equipment necessarily. They don't need any marketing resources necessarily. I mean, if they're willing and they're keen, they could probably follow something like Russell Curry's training, and get started with something like that. Or but on the other hand, some people, I might even say to someone, if they're willing to work with a funnel, I might just say, look, I'm going to just set a funnel up for you, and I'm going to get a page up for you. I mean, I might even just set up not even a capture page. I might even just set up a landing page, just a direct link to a kind of a landing page, that then they click the button, they go straight to the free tour, and that landing page would have the typical video presentation, maybe a recorded webinar. Say, look, just share this out there, just get this out. Go into a lot of money making groups on Facebook, go to network marketing groups, do a little search on Facebook, and just join as many groups as possible. And I would just tell them to do that. And then get to know, just pay attention to what people are doing, how people are marketing, what kind of language they're using, what kind of posts they're posting, and send friend requests to marketers, because they will friend you back, and try and get a following of people in this industry. Because typically they will follow you back, and they'll probably come into your inbox, and when they come into your inbox, talk to them, because they will want to tell you about their business. Welcome it. Because you're telling them about your business as well.
I think of it as like, being the alchemist. You change an energy. So people can talk about the business, and it could be very interesting to hear. But if you're focused enough and you say, okay, thank you so much for that, and how is that business going? And but I have something here that's could be interesting for you. It's about health, and it's only $9.95 a month, and there's a huge upside on the compensation if you want that, or if you just want products. Because I'm a lot about the products. That's it's a slower way, but I promote the products more than the business at the moment. But so that's and get the products. That I would say that also to someone new. Buy the products, see if you like them, get passionate about them, and
Well, I think if a new person who's coming into the business has learned enough of the benefits of what we've got here with LiveGood, about the entry price, the fact that we don't have to pay, that we don't have to buy the product. We don't need to do the monthly auto ship or anything like that. We don't have to binary qualifications, or we don't have to maintain orders in order to keep our rank or whatever like that. So I think most times when you have a conversation with someone who's in another company, most of the time you could probably win the conversation over by simply telling them how it is with LiveGood. And then I think most of the people would realize, crikey, you've got something good there with LiveGood, maybe I'll take a look.
Exactly. So you never know who you talk to, and and I think that's it. Just be open to talk to people.
Yeah.
really that simple, and kind of a numbers game as well. The more you talk, the more probably they will go and live with.
Yeah, it was actually interesting because I don't know, did I mention this to you earlier? But I'm not sure. But actually a woman joined my team. She's actually from Finland. She's I've known her for about 5 years.
All right.
And she actually joined me in the previous company with Ben Glinsky. And she's not a big marketer. But she's done well. She's got quite a following in Finland. But she's also sponsored people around the world as well. And in that old company, she was just said, all of a sudden this huge guy who everybody knew just suddenly joined her. Somebody said to me, do you realize you got that guy, Tim Siebert and Randy Thomas just joined your downline? And I said, really? And I looked to see who they joined. They joined this lady from Finland. And I said, I went into her inbox, do you realize that Tim Siebert and Randy Thomas just joined your downline? And she said, yeah, I noticed them, but are they big? And I said, yeah. And I said, what did you do? And she said, well, she said, I'm just following your training. And I'm just going through the PDF training, and I'm following the steps. And wow. She was posting on traffic exchanges.
Yeah.
And that's what she said she did. And they always work together. This guy, Tim Siebert and Randy Thomas, they always partner up together. They're partners.
Yeah.
And they were big in GDI, Global Domains International, and it was a network marketing company. It was around since late 90s, I think. And they joined her from seeing her ad. And they did really well, and that she became one of my biggest legs in that company, because she brought these guys in. I mean, she herself she got to work. She'd done well. She had some front lines and some other legs, but it was incredible. The reason why I brought that up was simply because you'd never know who suddenly is going to jump on your link.
Exactly.
But if you don't get to work, it's never going to happen. That's one thing I can guarantee, is if you don't get to work, that's never going to happen. If you do get to work, it may or may not happen, but it's still worth getting to work, because you never know who's going to come on your link.
Okay.
You never know.
And to me, this feels so good, because there's really no downside, and the risk is so tiny. It's it's like, it depends. If you don't have $9.95, then of course that's a risk. But that's skip a lunch at the restaurant in Sweden monthly. Skip one of those. Join this and talk to some people, and this could actually change. I know that you actually left your teaching just now the other week, right?
Yeah.
Because this is paying you so well. So you never know. So just put in a little work, and because I believe that this will be here for like 5 or 10 years, and we are just in the beginning. So just that, if you see that vision and just put in a little work, talk to people, and it's products that everyone kind of needs. 100% of all the people, but most people need it. It's great, and it's such a little risk. And the reward can be so big, it's amazing. So thank you so much for introducing me to this. I'm so grateful, and I'm proud to be in your downline.
I'm very grateful to have you guys, and the Team Scandinavia. It really is great to have you guys here. Yeah, it is. It's evergreen. It's always something that people will need, and as you say, the price point is just brilliant, and then and with the price of the shipping coming down, and I realize there could be some local issues still with posting, as you mentioned, with
customs.
Customs.
But still, if a normal order is $10 from the US, something like that, I'm actually going to do I did a fake order this weekend, and then I'm going to do the real order tomorrow when that kicks through, just to see, what what the difference is. This is getting really, really, really exciting. And I also know, because this is something that Ben said in, I think it was 2 weeks ago, about the vision, that there will be, in 2024 or somewhere down the road, the vision is to have like 200 different products in different categories. And things that people need and high quality. So with this model, we can sell about anything.
Yeah.
But it's really important to keep the products on high quality. I think that's the key. So just not to bring in anything in a model like this, because then and I think that's what he said also, just high quality products, the best products, and things that people really need.
Exactly.
That's true. And I know that the next product will be a collagen, and because this was so funny, because me and my girlfriend, we talked about it just 2 days before that was announced. I wish they had collagen in there, that would be really great, because we need that. And then they announced it just 2 days later. So yeah, that's all good.
Yeah, there's been a lot of synchronicities since I joined LiveGood. I mean, really almost weird stuff. I mean, stuff that really disappointed me in so many other companies. And then with LiveGood, I mean, even like, people just recently talking about, oh my God, the website's slow, and all of a sudden they upgrade the server.
Yeah.
And something that other companies would just not listen to us. They say we had this. I mean, we've been in that big company that we were in, like 3-4 years, and they just didn't listen to us. I mean, there were just so many issues.
The website was slow for weeks, and then things didn't work, and so it's
I mean, when I joined, I was just going to say, when I joined LiveGood, for a little while, the payment processes were not in place. So I was wondering how, what they were going to do to help, the international members, get paid. And since then, they implemented the iPayout, and then they implemented the Bitcoin. So
I really like that payout system, because I know another big company that used the same system that I didn't make any money from it, but I have the payout system. But that payout system is really good, and I actually ordered the debit card from there, and it took 3 days. Then I got it here.
Amazing,
quick delivery. So I like that a lot. Anyway, we're not going to be too long, because then it's a long video. I just want people to see this, and thank you so much for doing this today.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that was good to catch up.
And if there's any questions, just reach out to me. And I know that Ed he's happy to jump on the Zoom when he can. I know that you have
absolutely.
You're always there anyway. I send you a lot of questions, and you always answer, so I appreciate that a lot. So thank you so much. Yeah,
very welcome. Yeah, it was a good chat. All right.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, Peter.
Cheers.